Morning. So, with the holidays and all that, I'm actually on the road. I'm sitting in my pickup truck at a gas station, uh, and going to try to knock out this waiver and streamer episode for a few of you out there who may care. It is championship week. Congrats to everyone who made it. I know we had some tough performances and injuries that really killed some hopes. Of course, Jalen Hurts getting hurt, who's still in the concussion protocol, so that needs to be monitored. Josh Allen didn't play well. There was a few other performances, and then we had some people ball out that knocked people out. Jonathan Taylor held on to the ball and crushed people's hopes and dreams and elevated people up. And a lot of the big guys did what they normally do. So either way, if you got knocked out because of a bad performance or a gutsy call that didn't pay off, trust me, been there, done that. Again, congrats to everybody who made it. So let's hit on some news real quick. Let's see. Big news, obviously, Tank Dell had his knee shredded again. Well, not again. Last year he broke a leg. This year he dislocated a kneecap, also tore ligaments. It may be 2026 before we get Tank Dell back fully. He may make it back towards the end of next season, but I don't expect much out of him until 2026, to be honest. It's terrible. If you watch that game, you could see the emotion and devastation. Stroud, they're best friends, and he was inconsolable for a good part of while that was all going on. But it's a violent game, and you hate to see it, but hopefully he gets back out there. Let's see. We just mentioned Hurts is in concussion protocol, so he got popped, and you could tell when he went to the ground. He got knocked out. They took him to the tent, evaluated him. He came out. It looked like he was about to go back in the game, and then they were like, no. And then they took him to the locker room, and that was all she wrote. Something obviously to pay attention to next week. Let's see. Kenneth Walker did not practice with an ankle. It's not looking good for him. Charbonnet's also dealing with something, so that's a situation to monitor up there in Seattle. Christian Watson last night left the game with a knee. Josh Jacobs also got banged up in that game and left, but from what I heard, he could have came back in. They just didn't need him because they were blowing him out, but still something to keep an eye on. Let's see. Isaac Garendo is hoping to practice this week. Definitely a better option if he's out there than any of the other running backs they ran out this last week. Pickens also hopeful this week with his hamstring. So that's the big news as it sits right now. I'm sure other stuff will come out. Keep in mind we have games tomorrow, Thursday. So we got Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So you need to, prepare for that. Of course, let's see. So top waiver grabs. James Conner also most likely going to be out this week. He got hurt as well. Therefore, Trey Benson is your top waiver grab. Now, you need to go keep an eye on that. Michael Carter might actually be your grab because Trey Benson was dealing with something last week. And so, if you should have the roster going into championship week. So, if you can grab both of them, throw them down there, and then you'll have the starter, especially if you also got Connor. Throw him on the bench. Kendre Miller he may still be out there. He didn't get a ton of work, and to be honest with you, the Saints are like trash. But if you're desperate in a deeper league or like a multiple flex league, then that's definitely an option. And then these next two guys they're not widely available, but they might be available in your league. Alexander Madison and Gus Edwards. I don't know if this last week from Gus Edwards is a sign of what's to come. J.K. Dobbins is also said to be back at practice this week. His window has opened. I don't know if that means he's going to play this week, but so I don't know. Obviously, if Dobbins is back in, then Edwards don't play at all. But if you're looking for an upside play, you're an underdog, and You're trying to, if I had Kendra Miller and Gus Edwards next week and no J.K. Dobbins, then I would probably take my shot with Edwards, because I think he's at least going to get the valuable touches around the goal line like he did this last week. But it's the last week of the season. There hasn't, knock on wood, been a ton of injuries with the running backs, the big names, and so it's hard. And then when you look at, like, Kendra Miller was out there behind Kamara, but he did not get the work. Mims was out there getting a ton of work as well. But neither one of them looked especially good either way. That offense is really, really terrible. On the wide receiver side, if you haven't got Jalen McMillan in the last couple weeks, he's going to be tough this week. He's going to be a high, people are going to be fighting for him, because he's still only owned in like 30% of leagues. So he's widely available, but I think this week he's going to get snatched up, especially with Tank Dell going down. If you can get him, because he's definitely an intricate part of that offense, and they're playing the Panthers this week. Hollywood Brown, he was back, and he's definitely going to get used. There's a lot of talk in the offseason about the chemistry between him and Mahomes, and the fact that these guys are out there working all offseason together, and they're finally getting a chance to play together. So it's going to be interesting in these next few weeks in playoffs to see how Hollywood slowly progresses, but he came out pretty decent in his first game. I think you can depend on him to have a solid floor with upside. Rashad Bateman also always got the upside, but not a solid floor. And then Romeo Doubs is somebody who's just going to, again, he's going to get a few targets. And if Watson is out, then that's definitely going to elevate Doubs. As somebody you could feel confident in playing. And then a couple streamers I'll talk about. Anthony Richardson's only owned in 58% of leagues. He's playing the Giants. They are fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. And the Giants are a soft defense. So the Giants are terrible against the deep pass. So you may get lucky and get a couple bombs from Richardson out there, plus everything else he brings to the table. So he's who I'm starting in my home league in a match where I am vastly outpowered by my opponent. I barely squeaked into the playoffs, and I'm playing to get the number one seed, my oldest son. And so I have dog walked the number 3 and the number 2 seed, and now I got to fight the number 1. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Bryce Young against Tampa. If you're looking for just a solid floor play with not a ton of upside, I mean, Bryce did good last week, but Bryce is not somebody that's going to get you 35. And Richardson, somebody go and get you 35, but he'll also get you, 5. I think Bryce is going to have a fairly solid floor. And when I say solid floor, I mean, I don't think he's going to get you below like 14 or 15. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. And on the high side, in the low to maybe mid-20s. The problem is that Tampa is fairly tough against the run. And if the Panthers don't get a run game going, that will limit Bryce's productivity. That team relies on the play action. If they become one-dimensional like they did against the Cowboys, then it's that offense is not going to hold up to a team that's just 100% pass rushing. So, you just keep that in mind. And then tight end, Christian Okonkwo is the grab. This guy could be a league winner for you. He's had 10 and 11 targets in the last 2 weeks. I don't know why it's taken them this long to realize they have this athletic tight end out there, but they have finally realized it. Despite switching quarterbacks, he has been widely used. So if you're in quarterback hell, Okonkwo is like under 15% owned right now. So, if you need tight end and that's really your only thing, that's a full fab dump, top priority, go get him. And Andy's playing Jacksonville, which makes it even better. And then, of course, Noah Gray. I mean, he's just getting targets, and he gets value targets. He gets red zone targets. Kelsey's not getting a ton of red zone targets for whatever reason, and Gray is. So, I don't. If he doesn't get you a touchdown, you're just going to have a meh week with him. But you do have the touchdown chance. And then your top defense, and I hope you were smart enough to go get him last week. Go get them last week. But Miami at Cleveland, whether it's Jameis or whether it's DTR, their quarterback play is going to give up points to opposing defenses. So go out there and get Miami. Cincinnati absolutely won people weeks this last week, and then the Colts against the Giants again. Both these defenses are widely available because they haven't been great all season, but they're playing against really good matchups that could get you some points in the championship week and whatnot. So that's pretty much it. We'll be back either Thursday or Friday to really break down some stuff from this last week, get ready for championship week, and and whatever shenanigans that me and Matt can get into. But I hope everybody out there has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever Festivus, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope you have an enjoyable time of it, and we'll get back with you in a just average way towards the end of this week, and then finishing out through the playoffs. So that'll be good.